Hello, bookworms! It's that time of the month again, and I have a super big book haul to show you. So I am going to keep the chatting to a very minimum level and show you what I picked up this month. Pretty much every month I say, next month I won't have as big of a book haul, and then it ends up being just as big or bigger, so I just give up, and here's my large book haul. Enjoy! So I'm going to be dividing this haul up again, like I've been doing in the past, and I'm going to start by showing you guys all of the new releases that I got this month. Did not realize how many books came out in April, and I was really just surprised when I tried to put a pile of them in my lap, but unfortunately you could see them in frame because that's how many new books there were. So anyway, the first one that I have to show you is The Rose and the Dagger by Renee Ahdieh, which I've been talking about in the past couple of videos because I was so looking forward to this one. It's the conclusion to the Wrath and the Dawn series, and I already read it. I read it in like 2 days once it came out because I could not put this down. It was so great. It was everything that I wanted in a conclusion, and if you haven't read the series, you've got to do it. It's so good. So this was one of the last books that came in the month. It actually came out like April 26th, but it's one of the first ones in my heart for this month. Then I have The Raven King by Maggie Stiefvater, which is also the conclusion to a series, but it's the conclusion to the Raven cycle. This is another one that came out on the same day as The Rose and the Dagger, but it was, so good. It's just one of the ones that like I've been looking most forward to, and it was perfect, and I love this series. I love everything about it, and this is another series that you need to make a priority if you have not read it yet, because it is so freaking good, and you'll just be thinking about it for the rest of your life because it's that good. The next book that I have to show you is The Star-Touched Queen by Roshani Chokshi. This is a Hades and Persephone retelling, and it follows a girl named Maya who becomes the queen of her kingdom at 17 years old, and I really don't want to know too much more about it because I'm planning on reading it this month. It's gotten really great reviews, and I'm really excited for it, and they had me at Hades and Persephone, so I really don't need to know anything else. And just look at this beautiful cover, and it's shiny, and it has raised topography, so it's like, it's up there when it comes to cover ranking as far as I'm concerned. Then I have another series ender, and it is The Mirror King by Jody Meadows, and this is the conclusion to the Orphan Queen duology. It's actually like a lot larger than the first book, which I really was not expecting, so I'm not sure how soon I'll be able to read this one because there are so many other books that I am planning on getting to. I don't want to say anything about the second one because it will spoil things, but the first one followed a girl named Will who is trying to help win back a kingdom, and it also follows a villain-esque character called the Black Knife, and this is the conclusion to that duology. We'll find out if Will gets the kingdom back. I've heard good things about this one too, but again, I just don't know when I will have the time to read it because I have so much to read. And then the last series ender that I have to show you is Lady Renegades by Rachel Hawkins, which is the conclusion to the Rebel Belle series. In a turn of events, this one is actually really tiny, so I'll probably get to this really soon, but it follows a girl named Harper who is a paladin, and she just unexpectedly comes into these powers and has to adjust to her new life, and she's really snarky, really funny. I could see her being compared to like Buffy the Vampire Slayer. She's quick-witted and fun, and I haven't read the second one yet, so I need to read that and then read this one, and I'm definitely going to finish this trilogy this year. Next, I have a contemporary book that sounded really interesting to me. It's called Two Summers by Amy Friedman, and it follows a girl who is torn between spending the summer in New York or spending the summer in Paris. There are obviously circumstances that would lead her to one versus the other, but the book is told in parallel chapters, so there are chapters where, like, it's told as a chapter as if she's in New York, and then a chapter as if she's living in Paris, and I really like parallel life type things, so I think that this is something that I will really enjoy. And I actually read a bunch of Amy Friedman's books when I was in high school. She wrote this series called like the South Beach series that was like one of those cheesy series of books, and I enjoyed that, so hopefully I will enjoy this. I'm also just really interested in seeing how her writing has evolved since I graduated high school, which was like forever ago at this point. The next book that I have is Scarlet Epstein Hates It Here, and this is by Anna Breslaw. This is another contemporary, and it sounded really amusing to me because it's about a girl who is a blogger, and I've heard that it's like hilarious, but she is very, very heavily involved in this TV show, and it gets canceled, and then she kind of turns to fan fiction, and it just sounds like something that I would relate to, and I've just heard really good things about how funny it is, so I'm really looking forward to reading this one. Then I have a book that has been all over BookTube, and that is When We Collided by Emory Lord. I'm debating whether I want to read this one or her book that came out before this, which is The Start of Me and You. I don't know which one I want to read first, but I really liked her other book, Open Road Summer, and I'm really looking forward to reading this one. I know this one deals heavily with mental health, and they don't really reveal what it is that the main character is afflicted with, but you find out as you read, and I've been trying to avoid any spoilers where they do say what it is, so I personally don't know, and I'm looking forward to kind of going into it blind. And I do know that the other main character is a boy, and his name is Jonah, and they lost the father in his family, and he kind of has had to take over, and he's also a really good chef, and I love food, so I think that I will like this one, and I can't wait to read it. Next, I have Tell Me Three Things by Julie Buxbaum, and this is another contemporary that I've heard amazing things about. It follows a girl whose father remarried, and then she's forced to move across the country to LA, and she's not really fitting in at her new high school, and she ends up confiding in this person over the internet who goes by SN, and the two of them end up like forming this relationship, and she really relies very heavily on it, and then I think she's probably gonna want to find out who it is at some point, but it just sounds really cute and really fun, and it's probably something that will be a beach read for me. The next book that I have is The Land of 10,000 Madonnas, and this is by Kate Hattemer. This one really appealed to me because it's a contemporary and it is a road trip novel, which I always find really fun, but it's also going to be sad because just from the synopsis you can tell there's someone who passes away, and as his like dying wish he sends his cousins and his girlfriend on a cross-country like road trip in Europe, and there's some elaborate like scavenger hunt or something that he's sending them on, so it just sounds really fun. It's probably going to be one of those books where people are going to be learning a lot about themselves, which are always interesting, and I just thought that it had a really cool premise, so I'll probably read this one in the summer as well. Then I have a book that is sort of a new release, but sort of not a new release, and it is the 10th anniversary edition of The Book Thief by Marcus Zusak. It came out in this really pretty white edition, and I just thought that it was like so stunning. I've been seeing a lot of photos of it on Bookstagram, and while I have not yet read this book, and I actually do have the original copy of it, I just was really drawn to this one. I think it's so beautiful, and I would hate to read it and love it and then have missed out on the special anniversary edition, so I decided to just go for it and get it, and this is one that I'm definitely going to read this year. Then I have Lauren Conrad, Celebrate, and this is Lauren Conrad's new book. It's about like throwing parties like an adult, like dinner parties and stuff like that, and it just looks really cute. I really like Lauren Conrad. I have to say I do not follow celebrities at all. Like I could not tell you anything about any of them, but my one weakness is anytime that I see an article or anything about like Laguna Beach or the Hills, I am just in. I just read it. I need to know. I'm so curious about what's going on in their lives because I really loved those shows when I was in high school and college, and I don't know. I've always really liked Lauren. I love everything that she's done. I have her other books, and I had to get this one because I had to complete my collection. When I say other books, I have her beauty and style books. I do not have her YA series because it's not something that appeals to me. Then I have another one of my most anticipated books for April, and that is Hamilton Revolution by Lin-Manuel Miranda. And this is a book that is all about the play Hamilton. I think everybody has become pretty obsessed with it. I was lucky enough to see Hamilton live last year in, I want to say it was like September or something, and I just fell madly in love with it after that. I still listen to the soundtrack all the time, and it has not gotten old. Like, I love it to pieces. So I'm so excited to read this and to just see more like behind the scenes about the show, and I just wish that I could go back to it because it was the best play that I've ever seen in my life. But I'm glad that I have this like this book that will help me constantly relive it. Then, while we are on the subject of celebrity type people, I did get a couple of other books that I've been wanting to read for a while, but I just never got for some reason, so I picked them up this month because there was Barnes & Noble sale. What else is new? So the first one is Everyone Hanging Out Without Me and Other Concerns by Mindy Kaling. I really like the Mindy project. I think Mindy is really funny, and I'm interested in reading her book. It's short, and I'm sure that this will be a really, really quick read, but I thought it'd be something quick and fun as like a palate cleanser between books. Then I also picked up Yes Please by Amy Poehler. I really wanted to read her biography, but I really don't know why I didn't read it. I read Tina Fey's and I loved Tina Fey's, so I feel like I'm gonna love Amy's as well, and I like that hers has like a lot of photos in it. I don't know if you can see that at all, but it's just different than I was expecting. I thought that it was going to be more like a book, and it's kind of mixed media, which is fun. So this is another one that I'll probably read really quickly when I'm hanging out around my apartment at some point. And I'll let you know how it is. Then I have Girlboss by Sophia Amoruso, and Sophia is the CEO and founder of Nasty Gal, which is a clothing website. I think I have one or two things from there, but I don't really tend to shop there that much, but I thought it would just be interesting to read about her experience as an entrepreneur because she had a very different background than most, like, typical business people, and she really like founded this company from nothing on her own, and she did everything to build it up and to be what it is today. And she's just really inspiring to women who are looking to start their own businesses or who are currently running their own businesses. So I'm just interested to find out her process and what her journey has been like. Then I got The Shadow Cabinet by Maureen Johnson, which is the third book in the Shades of London series. I almost said the title of the first book instead of the title of the series because she's writing more books in it. It's not a trilogy. I really loved the first book. The second book was not as great, so I'm not as like feeling like I need to read this right away, but I will probably read it soon. And I had to wait for it to come out in paperback because I have the other ones in paperback and I needed them to match. So that is why I got this one this month. The first book in this series is inspired by Jack the Ripper, which was really interesting. It's more of like a horror book, so if you are not good at reading scary things, this might not be for you. But if you find that interesting, then you should go ahead and check it out. Then I have Everything by Nicola Yoon. This is a book that I've already read and I really loved, but I only had my arc of it, which I got at BEA last year, and I really wanted a finished copy. So I picked this up on a Barnes & Noble sale because I was like, it doesn't make sense that I don't own this yet. So now I do, and I'm glad. It's always fun to buy books that I've already read. It's because I'm not actually adding anything to my TBR. I'm just displaying it on my shelf. So this was a fun purchase. Then I have another book that I've really wanted to get to, like probably the beginning of this year is when I started wanting to read it, and it is Station 11 by Emily St. John Mandel. It's an apocalyptic novel, and it follows a Shakespearean troupe who travel and perform for people, and it's definitely more of a literary book than a sci-fi book, or fantasy book, or whatever genre that would fall into. But I've heard, wonderful things about it. It's an adult book, and I mean, it's a National Book Award finalist, so that shows you how wonderful it is. And I've heard good things from other people on BookTube, so I'm looking forward to getting to this one. Then I have some manga to show you. I picked up Princess Jellyfish, Volume 1 by Akiko Higashimara. They finally started collecting this, and I'm so excited about it. So I bought this one and I pre-ordered all the rest of them that are coming out like through the rest of the year and next year. And I loved this anime. I just thought it was so adorable. So I'm really excited to read it and to get back into these characters. I think they're all so cute and I love this story. And the cover that they chose is so pretty. Then I picked up Your Lie in April, Volume 1, which is by Naoshi Arakawa. And it is a slice of life manga following these two music students, and you can see like there's music notes kind of behind the title, and I've heard really good things about the anime of this, but I decided to just pick up the manga because I don't know when I'll have time to watch the anime, because I definitely read more than I watch things. So I thought that it would be good to pick this up, see if I like it, and then maybe I'll switch over to the anime, or maybe I'll continue with the manga. Who knows? And this series is actually not complete yet. It's still being published. So I think they're up to like 7 volumes by now. So we'll see. Then I have Sword Art Online Volume 1 Girls Ops, which is a spin-off of the Sword Art Online series by Reki Kawahara. I talked about this one in my wrap-up. I really liked it. It's just, it follows 3 of the female side characters, and there's no Kirito in the book, and it's just like a fun little adventure, and it's manga, so it's very light, and it was quick read, and I probably read it in like a half an hour. Then I have yet another book about cherry blossoms, because I walk past Kinokuniya every single day on my way to work, and they have had this book on display in the front window, and I'm always like, oh, what is that pink book about cherry blossoms? So pretty much every morning I'm walking and listening to podcasts, and every time I see it, I'm like, look up that book when you get to work. Look up that book when you get to work. And then I forget. And then one day I like made sure to just repeat it in my mind over and over so that as soon as I got there, I would look it up, and I did that, and it looked really cute, and the pages are pink, which makes my heart smile. So I'm very, very pleased with this book. And it just has like a little history about cherry blossoms again, and it has a lot of art, and it's really pretty and cute, and it's just something that I'm going to have like on my coffee table every spring because it's beautiful. And then finally, I have The Art of Spirited Away. It doesn't have a author because it's an art book, but Spirited Away is a Studio Ghibli film. Andrew and I both really love Studio Ghibli, and Andrew is an artist, so we are into art things in this place. And this is just a really cute film, and we have the art of Kiki's Delivery Service and the art of Howl's Moving Castle already, so this is one that I just picked up on a Barnes & Noble sale to add to our lovely ever-growing collection. So yeah. So those are all of the books that I picked up this April. Let me know if you've read any of the books, if you want to read any of these books, or if there are any new releases that I didn't get that you got and you think that I should get next month, because I'm always open to book recommendations. So let me know, and let me know if you're going to be EA, because I would love to meet anyone that's going to be there. So that is all that I have for this video, and I will see you guys soon with a new one. Bye!